Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 One Club story from Hemel Hempstead Town with me, Daniel. It's part 92 today and we are back for transfer deadline day in January. We've also got a big game at home to West Ham, but crucially, you can almost see our team name above my head, which means we are nowhere near the relegation mix, albeit 4 teams caught well adrift this season. We're virtually safe already, we're above a point a game. We're looking very solid and we've just picked up 3 outstanding results in a row. So if you're looking forward to seeing what big signings we've made in January, as the title gives away, there's been big action again. We did it last January. It got us some results by improving the squad massively, giving us momentum. And it's done the same here too. So if you're looking forward to finding out who they are, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content from 2 long-term stories. We'll be back tomorrow with the head coach. We've got a big end to the season in that one. And here we might even be having a look at a cup run as well. So we've got that to bear in mind here too. There's links up there to the football podcast and a Twitch channel for regular live streams too. You can also support the show by pressing the join button to become a channel member down below. But a massive thank you for your support as always as we reflect on problems, brilliance and a really solid season. Because first things first, we've only had 5 subs for most of the last 3 or 4 games. That's because all of our under 23s from South America are on Olympic qualifying duty. So we've been without Bernal, we've been without Josie, we've been without Maya, the centre half. We've even been without German Moreira, our wonder kid. So we've had our difficulties, but we've somehow managed to be brilliant. And that is due to the transfer window, which has seen some great signings come in, has seen more records broken, but also seen some action off the pitch. So let's start by having a look at that. There is potentially one more big in to come. Ignore the one the director of football's just made. But we're looking at Sedimir Pankovic, who potentially comes in from Stoke for £16 million altogether. Great centre midfielder. We'd actually agreed terms with him earlier in the month. But I did it all up front and we didn't have enough transfer budget remaining, so couldn't do that. But he's potentially a big deal in. There is also a bit of a risk with Sebastian Bernal. We've got an offer of £11.5 million. He's got a release clause, and that is for 14.75. So I don't know whether to accept it because there are clubs sniffing around him, namely West Ham, who will pay the odds. And if we can sell him to another country, he doesn't then threaten us. So something we've got to consider too. But that is a small drop in the ocean compared to what we have done. This January, we have signed 2 players for a combined £27 million. We tried to sign that Chinese youngster again. He was out of contract at his club. He chose Benfica in the end. But it's not all about the ins. We've seen Camoy Richardson leave. That one was pre-planned in the summer. But Callon Hazeman and Louis Bennett Sharif have left too. Callon Hazeman goes to Peterborough for £100,000 up front. Out of contract in the summer. Pretty much Championship/League One standard. It made sense to let him go. And Bennett Sharif's gone on loan to Forest Green, where they're paying 30% of his wages and another equivalent of 10% in terms of a fee. It just made sense for someone who was nowhere near the squad. We have, though, on the ins, got 2 familiar names. C. Striker is the first, from Standard Liège for 20 million. You may remember the first season in the Premier League. We tried to sign him with Hanifan, and it was one of the deadline days, I can't remember which, and we said, actually, we can't gamble on both. But he's now 19 years of age. He's still a wonder kid. He's a brilliant centre-half, but he's had to play right-back recently because Ryan Young's been injured, Danilo Jose on international duty. So he's played right-back, Albi Armin centre-half, and we've looked wonderful. But he's come in, he's going to be worth tons more than we've paid for him. And we are starting to up the wage ante as well. Still getting those relegation clauses in, but Striker's a super player. And with the likes of him, German Moreira, I go back to Ricker, who we signed in the summer. I go back to some of the ones we bought in last January. We are now preparing our squad for the rest of this save. And people like Striker, Hanifan if he can get consistency, Moreira, Ricker, etc. They can all be part of this squad till the very end. They're that good with that bigger potential. Already 3.5-star ability, great anticipation, but 5-star potential. We'll keep our eyes firmly on him. The other one that joins is Durgan Kaplan. We tried to bring him on loan, I think in the Championship promotion season, and we tried to get him on a free when he was released initially. He rejected us then for, I think, Watford, and he stayed there a few years before moving on. Not my traditional midfielder, not the best in the air, but he's resolute, he's 2-footed, he's solid enough at 2.5-star ability and 3.5 potential. I basically wanted someone good here with the threat of Bernal going. And with him coming in, he's got potential to improve. And if he does, I'm sure we'll sell him on for a profit. And because of Bernal being away, he's actually played all month and done a really solid job. So 2 great signings, big money ones too. Other players have started to come to the party, those big ones in the summer. And for those of you saying we don't spend money, well, it's 50 million now, and we could be about to add another 15 to it. So it's been a big year of investment. But not just that, we've invested really well, and some of them are going to make this club excellent profits. So I don't know about you, but I think now long gone are the days where we spend little bits of money on 5, 6, 7, 8 players and have overhauls every window. I think we're now into that business of let's find 2 or 3 each summer, 1 or 2 each January, and get big upgrades to this squad, because it seems to be working a treat, and that's why we are 14 points clear of the relegation zone. 28 from 23, 14 is Bournemouth in 18th. If we have a look at the schedule, we owe a lot of that to recent weeks, because January's been brilliant for us. We really struggled after the last episode. We got that 2-0 win against Palace, one of our former head coach clubs, and you'll remember we sort of sacrificed the Leicester game a bit in terms of lineup. Didn't really have much of an effect, but it did mean late on here we were a lot stronger. Ricker and Lancashire scoring in the last 10 minutes. We then lost 2-0 at Bournemouth, which was a real kick in the teeth, but it was a first half red card that contributed to that, certainly by stopping us getting into the game, rather than preventing us conceding the first. 3-0 defeat at Chelsea, another red card late on. A 2-2 draw at home to Everton. We did alright, but from 2-0 up we would have liked to have won. Burnout at McNeil got the goals there. Another 1-1 draw at home to Southampton this time, just couldn't hold on after an early Ricker goal. A 3-1 defeat away from home against West Ham on Boxing Day. Ricky J. Jones opened it, and again the last 5 minutes we ran out of steam. But this month it's been a very different story. 2-1 win at home to Newcastle. Ricker with a brace either side of Dwight McNeil's leveller. A 4-1 win at Grimsby in the FA Cup. Stuart Parry's side gave us a threat in the first half, but we came back with braces from Cordes and of course from Foyani, who really arrived there too. A 0-0 draw away at Burnley, who were bottom at the time, but given the squad we had available, it was a really good effort. And the same goes for the win at Villa. Ricker got a late goal. But we basically went into these last 2 games, this one and the United one, with 3 strikers and 2 goalkeepers on the bench. And that shows how well we've done to get where we are. We brought on an injured Josh O'Brien against United to see it out. Ricker got a late goal off the bench. We were actually resting him for this one. Foyani scored the opener, either side of Trinkhaus' penalty. But what a result. That's the 3 points we didn't expect to get. That's the bonus. And now, instead of being 5 or 6 points clear, like we were last year and risking to get dragged back into it, we're now 1 or 2 wins from virtual safety. And later this season, we've got Norwich at home. We've got Bournemouth at home. We've got those sides that we can genuinely now call winnable games. We've got Stockport in the 4th round of the FA Cup, League 2 side after beating League 1 opposition in the 3rd. So if we can avoid the big teams in that, is this a year we can prioritise a cup run and do something really special? We'll wait and see on that front, but for now, let's go and get into the West Ham game. Deadline day has been moved to the 2nd of January on the Monday, but let's go and pick our strongest 11. We've got a few back from international duty. We should be able to enjoy this occasion an awful lot more, and maybe even fill our bench. Well, we have technically filled the bench this time. I wouldn't say it's exciting because Josh O'Brien's injured, we've got 2 keepers, and Ryan Young is not fit at all. But we have been able to rotate a little bit. So Jones, Lancashire and Foyani drop back out, as does Flores, as does Thornhill. Seemed a shame after their recent form, but I feel we have to do it. I'm going to bring Mayer in at centre-half alongside Hanifan. Striker has to play at right-back still until Young's fully fit. Armin's back out to left-back after covering at centre-half. Kaplan continues in the holding role, and Du is now rejoined by German Moreira. And it's Cordes, Ricker and McNeil. Now my first choice front 3, and John Moore between the sticks, who I don't think I mentioned. So let's get into the West Ham game at Kenilworth Road, a big one as we continue our quest for survival. Well, into the dressing room pre-match, we're going to ask the lads to keep doing what they can because they've taken a lot of the pressure off themselves now. And while these changes might affect this game, we've got a quiet week before we get back to the big ones. And hopefully, once we've won an FA Cup tie, if we can beat League 2 opposition, we can get a good draw and start to focus on that. We have had the better start in this game, 16 minutes on the clock, and it's John Moore playing out from the back to Hanifan. He's got the right back with him. He's gone wide himself. Not the best bit of movement from him. Kaplan dropping into the holding role there, and Du finds Cordes. Here's German Moreira, back from international duty, to McNeil and Ricker. Back to Hanifan, very composed in possession at the minute. And we are starting to look fairly settled, and whisper it quietly, quite high quality. Cordes, stayed fit for a month now, finds Moreira and undo to Charlie McNeil in one-on-one. Just wide of the post, but a scintillating move, lots of composed football. And then we just switch up the tempo when we need to. Great to see. Levakovic, the Croatian number 1, still in for West Ham 11 years in. And they have got a younger side apart from that. Though Stewart's nicked in, it's not a good goal to concede this. But it's not conceded because Moore makes the save. He's finally delivering in a big match. 20 minutes gone, 1 shot on target apiece. And considering they're 7th in the league with this point, we're pretty happy with how we're performing. As Mayer gets it short off John Moore. Goes wide to Albi Armin. Approaching the half an hour mark, and again, you can even see the difference just watching in these episodes. It's not backs to the wall. We are a competitive side now. As Ricker gets in, it's a great effort. Hits it from a bit far out though, just over the bar. But players like him, Hanif van Strijker, really developing already. We're starting to see that our improvements to the coaching team, improvements to facilities, they're all adding up. 5 to the break. We've looked the better side, if anything, as Cordes delivers a free kick. Mayer heads into the top corner. Back from international duty with a bang. His first ever Hemel goal. And for signing him for £2 million. I'm pretty sure we'll get an offer for his release clause at some point. We'll make a 25 million profit. And he's given us the lead at half time. What a performance. We look an established Premier League team. And I'm starting to feel a lot more confident about the next few years with Hemel Hempstead. 5 minutes gone in the second half. It's been a very quiet one so far. Because realistically, we've kept West Ham quiet at the other end. As Cordes has an outswinging corner to the back post. Hanifan loses out. It's cleared as far as Guendouzi, one of the few original names left in this side. Dembele is the young Celtic one in real life. Back to Chamanga. Chance to get across him from the byline. Armin intercepts with a delicious back heel. And it's cleared downfield to Charlie McNeil. He goes back into German Moreira and Kaplan. Time in possession again. Goes back to Moore. Finds Jack Hanifan. Again, no rush to get it forward. Although he goes for the big hoof as soon as I say it. Commentator's curse. Gotta zip it. Back to Levakovic. Gives it away to McNeil. Oh, we'll take gifts like that all day long. Fabulous goal. McNeil was there. He was pressing high. He was ready to intercept the error. And my word did it come. Into the bottom corner. Finish with aplomb. 2-0. Hemel Hempstead looking brilliant. But with 25 to go, it's a West Ham corner from Jota. We don't want to concede anything silly. And we've done exactly that. It's an awful bit of defending from the set piece. Kaplan takes the blame. I was about to take him off, which is really annoying. I know that he's got a little knock, but I'm going to bring O'Brien on. I did it in the United game. It worked really well. We'll leave the last two for a little while. Ricker is going to be our next man off. And now, it's a very different story. Ricky J. Jones, with the pace coming off the bench, can make a difference to our aims. And then Moreira is going to be replaced by Flores for the last 10 minutes. It's another West Ham corner though, and we've not got the threat in the air. That is a brilliant clearance from Stryker. Moore was diving desperately, but it's off the line by the Belgian wonder kid. And we're clinging on. But West Ham now looking the better side. We might have to do the dirty and get the time wasting on here. But as it stands, we're going up to 12th place, and that would be remarkable. As Ricky J. Jones finds Stryker and undo. Inside to Flores, over towards Jones. Not quite high enough. It would have been a great chance otherwise. Stryker does brilliantly defensively there though, as West Ham go a bit more direct late on. Mayer gets it at the centre-half position to Armin. Plays down the line towards McNeil, but it's under hit, and it's cleared towards Anthony. Don't get sent off. Don't give away a foul. He's not, but it's gone wide. Chamanga delivers. Good header from Mayer. Chamanga again, the goal scorer. Back to Alberto. We could do with West Ham giving it away with a silly pass here. Hasn't happened though. Clark and Chamanga exchange. It's a big ball into Jota, and it's a good save from John Moore. Free kick for offside anyway. There are 5 minutes added on. I'm going to do the dirty. Back in a moment with all the time wasting on. Well, the time wasting almost appeared to have worked, but we're in the 94th minute and West Ham are piling on the pressure with a corner kick. First one's away to Jota. 1-2 with Chamanga across the box. And we've blown it. The 3 points are gone. It's still a good result if we're being honest, but again, from 2-0 up, we've given it away. And that's exactly what happened via Everton. Still a good point if you'd offered me it at the start. And we're playing some good stuff. We're competing as a Premier League side. But it is only 1 point instead of 3. And set pieces now our Achilles heel. Back for transfer deadline day in a minute. Can we add that one more big player to the ranks? Here we are for deadline day then. We've been linked with Brandon Williams, which won't be happening. But the link out is burnout to West Ham. I'm really worried about that one. He's unhappy. He won't sign a new deal. Not quite sure what he's unhappy about. But I don't want him to go. If he does, we're in trouble. Andrew Barrett can potentially go out on loan. I've not got any qualms with that. So let's get our business done early in the day. And of course, we want the lad from Stoke. Panjkovic is the one we want today. So let's see if we can get it done. We'll take part. Should be a bit less hectic than normal. But I've been wrong before. 15 hours to go. Well, this deal with 9 hours to go might be an important one and a monumental one for the series moving forward. Because it's not the fact that Panjkovic has agreed to join us. He's rejected Wolves and Watford, which really suggests that we've got an opportunity to develop and we're starting to get some pull. It's 37.5 grand a week in wages. It's 14 million up front. It's a position we've got 2 brilliant players. We've already got Ndu, who we spent big money in the summer. We've got Moreira, a wonder kid. But to have competition of Premier League level in each position is something else. And if the scouts are right, this lad's the best of the bunch. I don't agree with that, but he's certainly competitive. So let's get the deal done. He's coming in, and it's 6 million up front, 8 million in guaranteed instalments, and 2 million if he plays more games in the future. It's a bit more than we had at the start of the month, but that's deadline day inflation for you. Let's get it done. Should be the only big one of the day. And there we go. The scouts had overrated him a bit, as I suspected, but he's a very competitive player. Maybe just behind Moreira and Ndu. Probably better than most of the number 10s. Got a little bit of potential as well. And he's someone I think we'll make a profit on. He's an international footballer. He's experienced. He's played for Stoke in the Championship. He's done well. He's played for other clubs in the top tier. He's played in the Premier League for Stoke as well. He is a good footballer. I'm looking forward to working with him. We'll get him registered for the squad. We'll ask John Moore to welcome him. And he's definitely a big step up in replacing Camoy Richardson. And that's essentially what he's doing here. Might be the only deal we do today, but a pretty good one. I'm a happy man. Well, I told you it was going to be less hectic than normal, and it is. The transfer window is closed. 1 deadline day addition, 1 potential youngster going to non-league. But that is our window on that screen there. 3 players out, 3 players in. And if we look at it, we've replaced Hazeman with Kaplan. We've replaced Camoy Richardson with Panjkovic. And we've replaced Bennett Sheriff with Striker, a wonder kid. 3 direct replacements, 3 massive upgrades. I couldn't be more pleased. Yes, we've spent a bit more money, but it's going to be worth it in the end. And we are going to make an awful lot in terms of future profits on a lot of these kids. We've still got the lowest wage bill in the league. It's still only about half of the next team up. And if we look at the roundup for the window, we've got the most players in. We are one of the biggest spenders. I think we're about 5th or 6th on the list. So I can't be accused of not spending money anymore. But that perfect January window. Disappointing late on against West Ham, but it's an unbeaten month. And you saw throughout, we were very competitive against a top 8 Premier League side. And given where we've been in recent seasons, given the struggle we've had when we've come up to this level, that is absolutely remarkable. And I think we've got to be pretty grateful. What we're going to try and do is get through the next month or so. I'm hoping we'll be back for an FA Cup 5th round or quarter final, depending on what sort of opposition we get and whether we get through, of course. If not, I'll split it into 2 from now. I'll come back to show you Chelsea so I can show one of the big sides and then one other as well. I know Chelsea have got that weird interim situation, so maybe Everton or Palace either side of that. And then the final games of the season. But it looks like it's going to be comfortable safety here with Hemel Hempstead Town. If you did enjoy this episode, let me know what you thought of the transfer window down in the comments. And please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 videos from 2 long-term stories. Could be a big FA Cup run here in a couple of days' time. In the meantime, it's a big end to the season in the head coach, which you can find tomorrow. You can find links in the eye above to the Twitch channel for regular live streams and the football podcast too. But above my head now, I'll put a big episode from yesterday in the head coach. Thank you very much for watching this one, and I'll see you back here in a couple of days' time.